right now, Mom.
You are Locked On Dolphins POSTCAST. Part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up, Fins fans? Welcome to another episode of your Locked On Dolphins POSTCAST. My name is Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease, and ha, staying alive. Feel the city breaking and everybody. I don't even know, but I know the Dolphins are still alive right now. 29-17, they beat the San Francisco 49'ers and Brock Purdy wearing number 13 because he idolized Dan Marino growing up. Wrong color, wrong uniform, wrong field, baby. Dolphins 29, 49ers 17, and what really makes this win impressive, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're sitting down. If you didn't see this game, I hope you're sitting down. I hope you're in a nice, quiet place. I hope you're not stressed about Christmas and all the bills and everything, or New Year's and wondering why you haven't achieved what you ever wanted to achieve in your life yet. All those things got you down. Well, you better be sitting down for this one. The Dolphins won it with defense. The Dolphins won it with the running game. And the Dolphins won it with Jason Sanders, clutch field goals all year long. He's done it, 29-17. This is your Locked On Dolphins POSTCAST. Thank you so much for making us your first watch and listen of the day. We're free wherever you get your podcast and right here on the YouTube. Locked On Sports Miami, the official and only post-game show you should be watching on the network covering the Dolphins, is your Locked On Dolphins POSTCAST. OST. POSTCAST. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, G-R-I-E-S, at Jim Grease on social media. Let's go. Yes, your Locked On Dolphins POSTCAST is brought to you by FanDuel, and you all know how I feel about FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, no matter who you are. New customers can place a $5 bet. You'll get started with $250. I had to read it twice before I said it out loud. $250 in bonus bets. Are you kidding me, FanDuel? If you win your first $5 bet, visit FanDuel.com to get started. Bang, right out of the gate. We are going with your Locked On Dolphins POSTCAST. And don't forget, we still got, yeah, you're right, still got a shot. 2 more games left for the Dolphins, and the playoff picture will be broken down right here on this show today. No need to go anywhere else to have the playoff picture broken down for you for the Dolphins, because you will get it right here from me, as I heard it 73,000 times from Tony Romo today on the telecast. So there we have it. But more important than that, you're going to get the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs. What happened at the Rock? Get a piece of the Rock. What happened today? The Rock says, know your role and shut your mouth. 29-17 is the final, and man, they did it with defense. They did it with special teams. They did it with the running game. Now, they used Achane so beautifully today. They love, and you know all year long with the split screens, the little flare outs, the little wheel routes, they love, and they even have him running slants from a split position. Achane was the offensive player of the game today, no doubt about it. Huge, we'll get you the numbers soon. But the running game picking up big first downs late in the game, chewing up the clock against that Niners defense. They've been just killed by injuries this year. So has Miami. But, hey, it's week 15 in the NFL. You're going to have a lot of week 16 because by the buys. But you're going to have a lot of injuries. And with the Dolphins, Miami's got the Dolphins, the greatest football team. They take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. Well, maybe not anymore, but they actually might make the playoffs. Playoffs, here's how. Well, I'm not going to tell you yet. How about that's called a tease right there. Oh, you don't know what a tease is. Anyway, I'm going to tell you this. The audience is surging. We love you guys. Thank you so much for watching right here on YouTube, Locked On Sports Miami, and for listening wherever you get your podcasts. Do not confuse this with any other shows on the network. This is the post-game show for your Miami Dolphins. In 29-17, the final, looking at the playoffs. Playoffs. What do they have to do to make the playoffs? Well, you need the Broncos to lose twice. You need the Colts and Jacksonville to each lose once, and you need to win out. Now, the Colts won today. One of the games played by Denver this year will be against Kansas City. They also play Cincinnati. Maybe they can lose to Joe Cool and Pat Mahomes back-to-back, 2 best QBs in the league. Josh Allen fans, calm down. Here's what I'm saying, okay? And Mahomes is still the man. I don't care what the numbers say this year. Okay, and he's been playing hurt. Look at their record. He's Pat Mahomes, whatever. He could throw lefty and beat most teams. But what I'm going to say is that Tua, speaking of throwing lefty, was very efficient today. They tried to throw the ball a bunch down the field. Now, look, you're talking about helium balloons. You might think you're in Albuquerque if you watch Tua try to throw deep enough times because Albuquerque's known for their hot air balloons, if you want to Google that. You might think you're in Albuquerque, Kookie, whatever. You might think you're in Albuquerque. I try to be funny. See what happens? You might think you're in Albuquerque with all the helium balloons when you see Tua trying to go deep too many times, like Tua back to pass, hang time of an NFL punter. But a couple of them got there, and they're stretching the defense. You got to keep them honest. You got to keep them back a little bit. You can't have them pressing and bringing up safeties with Tyreek Hill, even with Jalen Waddle out of the lineup today. They did a great job mixing in the run. The offensive line came out mean. They came out nasty. They came out aggressive. And yeah, the Niners defense played them well in the red zone and held them to field goals. 5 from Jason Sanders. And maybe they should have blown this team out. But when the defense needed sacks, they got them. When they needed batted balls, they got them. When George Kittle's wide open in the end zone and you're about to go ahead if you're San Francisco, oh, he's wide open. Kittle's batted down by Chop. Chop Robinson keeps getting better and better. That number 1 pick from Penn State had to be energized by what the Nittany Lions did to SMU in the first round of the playoffs. Pumped up for that. And Chop gets it done for Miami. The defensive backs, the coverage was outstanding. The pressure was there throughout the game. Early in the game, they couldn't get any pressure on Brock Purdy. They couldn't get anything in the first quarter early on. And I was actually listening. I love to listen to the radio broadcasts. You know, you got Jimmy Cefalo on the play-by-play, number 81, catching touchdowns from Dan Marino, great broadcaster. You got Joe Rose, the tight end, caught Dan Marino's first career touchdown pass on a day when Jonnu Smith broke the all-time record for single-season catches and receiving yards for a tight end in Dolphins history. I'd say he was a good signing in the offseason. I don't know about you, but also Kim Bokamper, who somehow still has a job in broadcasting. I don't know. But anyway, they're on the field, they're calling the game, and on the first drive, Rose and Cefalo were lamenting, saying, hey, man, we're not getting any pressure at all on Brock Purdy. We do that throughout this game, he's going to look like his hero, Dan Marino, whose jersey number he's wearing, even though he grew up in Arizona, but his dad was a big Dolphins fan. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you know, you get the inside knowledge on this show that you really don't get anywhere else. But when you're looking at this game and you're looking what happened here, the running game put it away, man. It was the running game that put it away, and it was a 50-yard touchdown run from Devon Achane that sealed the deal and just sent the Niners packing. It's 22-17. Mike McDaniel did his usual, like, huh? What are you, you know what I mean? Like, wait a minute. Where is it? I have it all written down right here. I have to make sure I get this right because my girlfriend will kill me. She's looking right at me 3 feet away. She's gorgeous, by the way, but she loves Mike McDaniel. She saw the before and after with like the accountant suit, looking like he was wearing his dad's suit on the first day of his new job. And now look at him. He's got a $500 haircut. His skin is exfoliated. It's beaming. It's glowing. It's puffy. He's in South Beach now. You know what I'm saying? But he also loves to try to find ways to make you scratch your head late in games. And you're going, wait a minute, there's 2:16 left. It's 4th and 5, 2:13 left in the game now. At this, you're going for it. Wait a minute, it's 4th and 5. You're up 19-17. What are you doing? A field goal beats you, dude. What are you doing? McDaniel, what are you crazy? No. Well, then you try to draw him off sides and you have 3 timeouts and you're going to call a timeout there, bro. Like, why? Why did you just call timeout? I'm not an NFL coach. I'm simply asking the question, why did you call timeout? Then you kick the field goal. Obviously, the field goal doesn't beat you anymore, but the touchdown still does. The defense came out, and they got it done. But Mike McDaniel in that sequence, and I'm going, what's he doing? Oh, my Lord. And we've had a few of those moments this year where the Dolphins have snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're watching the Discovery Channel and you see the leopard gets its kill, and before it can get up that tree and race away like a pack of hyenas or some lions, just intercept it and take that food and be like, what? That's what usually happens when McDaniel starts pulling this stuff. But they kicked the field goal. Sanders 5 for 5. Dude's 19 out of 20 at home this year. He's made 11 kicks of 50 yards plus, making them right down the middle. Just Mr. Automatic, Mr. Clutch, the PATs right there as well. So Sanders getting the job done today. You know what I mean? It was awesome to see. And then when you're looking at, you know, what happened in this game, I mean, Brock Purdy threw for 313 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Deebo Samuel, the wide receiver in the fullback's body, maybe the best weapon in the NFL, somehow only has 3 touchdowns all year, scored 1 today. Dolphins had a lot of trouble with him and with George Kittle. Combined, they had 15 catches for over 200 yards, and Deebo also had 25 yards on the ground. But the Dolphin defense holds San Fran to 81 yards on the ground. We'll get into the stats a little bit later. in the show, but that's a big key in this game. And Zach Sealer with that, Calais Campbell, that steady leadership, Father Time, Old Man River, the University of Miami, the last University of Miami Hurricane to ever play in the Orange Bowl, who's still in the NFL. How much are you learning on this show today? Is Calais Campbell. Guy's almost 40 years old, setting the tone for the defense. Chop is really coming along under that leadership and that tutelage, but Zach Sealer has been the guy. He's been the sealer. He's been stuffing the run. He's been sacking the quarterback. Love what Zach Sealer's been doing for this defense. The secondary has been locked down. They've been great and getting better game by game. Romo said it by the end of the game. He was like, this team's going to be, he didn't say, that's my word. He's like, this team's going to be really good. They're going to be great next year, the Dolphins. And I thought this could have been the year. Tua doesn't get the concussion. They win a couple of these games, the road game at Buffalo, the Cardinals game at home. You know what I'm saying? There's a few of those sprinkled in there. The Colts game 16-10, especially with the situation with the Dolphins and Indy in the playoff race now. Again, they need Indy to lose once. They need Denver to lose twice. They need Jacksonville to lose once. And now they need to win at Cleveland, 3-12, and they need to win at the Jets, 4 and whatever they are with Aaron Rodgers. And I called that too before the season started. All right, you're watching and listening to your Locked On Dolphins postcast. My name's Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease, Gries. Give me follow Mickey Holla on social media, and I'll tell you what, man. I will tell you what. And by the way, my girlfriend didn't kill me when I had to be careful what I said about Mike McDaniel. She's digging the whole McDaniel South Beach vibe, but I'll tell you, and a lot of you are, you know what I'm saying? Especially now that you won that game. And look, the helium balloons down the field aside from Tua, everything was clicking for the offense today. We'll break that down on the other side. Talk about why the run game looks so much better today, and defense wins championships. They won the game today for your Miami Dolphins. All that and more. Locked On Dolphins postcast. Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease on your Sunday. Let's go. And I get a chance to talk about one of my favorite places on God's green earth. One of the things you love about me, at least I hope, or one of the things that I love about me, is that I always try to take things that are already fun and make them more fun. I'm an experienced guy. Ask my best friends, my lady, anyone. They'll tell you the greatest experiences of their life have come as a result of things that I've put together, because you always want to have fun on top of the fun. For example, watching sports is fun. How do you make it more fun? How about Prize Picks? Today's episode is sponsored by Prize Picks right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. If you love watching the game, you're going to love Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy, whether it's football, basketball, or any of your favorite sports. It's Prize Picks all day, making your holidays bigger, making your holidays brighter. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. How? Hey, I told you all the information I'm giving you today on the show. Plus, this holiday season, they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas and offering 2 free picks in December. So when your picks hit, Prize Picks makes it easy to cash out. You can get your money in as fast as 15 minutes. Did I tell you I like to have fun while I'm having fun? And you're getting paid? Come on, it's a no-brainer. For example, this week, I'm looking at Jared Goff for more than 230 passing yards. Guess what? He came in over Saquon Barkley for more than 1 touchdown. The Eagles and the Commanders. It's quick, simple, and so much fun to challenge myself and my friends. And here's the offer just for you. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONNFL. That's right. Get $50 instantly after your first $5 lineup. That's right. $50 instantly when you play just $5. Prize Picks. Run your game. And that, my friend, is how you do a commercial. Right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, and you're proud today, South Florida. Raise up for your Miami Dolphins, the greatest football team, 7-8 on the season. And look, it's really interesting when you look at the Niners killing themselves with penalties today. They've been decimated by injuries. Kiick is out still. They lost 2 offensive linemen today. It's the NFL, not for long. People don't stay healthy for long. People don't stay employed for long. People don't stay on top for long. The Niners have for a long time, and now look at them. All it takes is a year to turn it around, but the injuries, the longer seasons with the playoffs, all those things have added up and taken their toll on those bodies. More weeks of practice, more weeks of playing games, and it just kind of takes its toll on you. But, Purdy and Kittle and Debo, those guys are as good as it gets, man, and they weren't going to go down easily today. But Miami's defense really, really played well in this game. I thought it was their best effort of the season. You're starting to see with all the injuries and all the guys who have had to fill in both on offense and defense that it's finally starting to stick. You're seeing guys like Chop Robinson playing his best football of the season, a rookie from Penn State, really looking good, and then Tyreek Hill's been getting open. He had a touchdown today. He's been making plays. They got some one-on-one coverage. Teams have been getting arrogant. Teams have been getting cocky on Miami. Man, I'm glad that McDaniel did it. He knows that Tua throws helium balloons, and I sound like I'm ripping on Tua. I'm not. It's the one element of his game where he's not great. Tua's amazing. He's the best in the league. I mean, Tua and Purdy, looking at both of them today, neither one can throw the deep ball all that well. But underneath, right, in the flat to the mid-range stuff, the slants, the posts, the outs, the curls, those guys get it done. They get it done, and those are probably the two best guys in the league making those throws, Purdy and Tua. But McDaniel stretched the field today. What happens when you stretch the field? Because the defensive backs started cheating up. You're playing those receivers man coverage. Why? Because you're not giving your quarterback time to get him the ball. With that, the Dolphins couldn't block the pass rush of the front seven, even the front four. So bang, right there, you're easily getting pressure with four. You got guys sitting back, and what you're doing is you're making a shield. You're forming a shield. Hey, we'll let you catch the 3 and 5 yarders. Then bang, we make the tackle. We make the tackle, and we have reinforcements lined up. We have spies on both sides to help with the tackles. See how that goes? Now, when you run the football, right, the safeties start to cheat up a little bit more, and then you have to throw deep, because if you don't, they can stay there all night. If all you can do is throw short, throw intermediate, and then you really are having trouble running the ball, even if you're running it better, they can still cheat up to try to stop the run more. But when you take those shots down the field, even though if you watch the game, it's boom. Kind of like reminds you of Jay Fiedler, you know what I'm saying? But it's the only thing that Tua struggles with is the deep ball. He just doesn't have that mega arm strength that other guys have. And that's not a knock on him. It's an NFL quarterback, but one of the best, if not the best in the league at all the other throws. So they finally open it up offensively. It moves those defensive backs back a little bit. They can't keep cheating up to stop the run. Achane's getting the ball like, where is everybody, man? Where are they at? Oh, they're back there because Reek and the guys are going deep. And Reek and Malik today. How about the Reek and Malik combo, right? The 1-2 punch. Reek and Malik. Tyreek Hill and Malik Washington, the rookie, stepped up nicely today. Had a couple of big grabs in place of Jalen Waddle. And remember, Barrios out too. OBJ's gone. They cut Odell Beckham Jr., who's 106 years old now, but somehow still culturally relevant. Love you, OBJ. No, I don't love you. You're a giant. You'll always be a giant. A New York giant, by the way, not a real giant, not a giant among men. But Dolphins with a big win today. Have to love the fact that they did it with defense and the run game. Achane with the 50-yard touchdown that salted it away. The offensive line, you see him at the end of that game all pumped up. Nothing gets a football team pumped up more than dominating at the line of scrimmage. That defensive front did an awesome job today, at least a stalemate, probably more in the Dolphins' favor against that 49er offensive line. Knocked a couple guys out of the game even, and that's still part of it. Niners killed themselves with penalties. If I'm a Niner fan right now, that 15-yarder late in the game on number 2 on Lenore on a tackle, that'll kill you. That'll kill you every time. And number 92 got one also on a late hit on a key drive. Just an awful job. Awful job. If you're a Niner fan, you're feeling that right now, And when Purdy threw the touchdown to make it 19-17 with 12:36 left in the game, you're just looking at it right there. Tua throws to Jonnu Smith for a short gain, 15 yards, unsportsmanlike conduct. You know what I mean? And then a 15-yard penalty on Lenore, on the very next drive. So back-to-back possessions for Miami, 15-yard penalties on the San Francisco defense. And how about lining up in the neutral zone? Lining up in the neutral zone as a defensive lineman when all you have to do is look to your side and look at the nose of the football. Come on, man. Come on. They teach you that when you're 8 years old in Pee Wee. It's ridiculous to see that in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So then McDaniel does his best with the whirling dervish of like, what in the hell is he doing? Like 2:16 left. You're going for it on 4th and 5. Why? It's 19-17. You kick a field goal can't beat you. Now you're going to try to draw them off sides. Play clock runs down. Now you're going to call timeout and burn one of your 3 when you might need it if they come down and score a touchdown and you just go down the field score. I don't know what this guy's doing. Then he decides to kick it. They kick it, and it's like, whew, thank God. He didn't outthink himself again. And sometimes that's a problem with being too smart. Trust me. I know. You're watching. I mean, I've seen a lot of other people have that happen. Maybe not me. But, look at this. How can I go wrong here? How can I go wrong? I got my trusty Dan Marino autographed right there. See that? Jim, best wishes, Dan Marino. Got this bad boy in 1995 on the set of Sunday Night Sports Wrap in Miami when I was a producer on that show. The Mad Dog, Jim Mandich, RIP to the Mad Dog. Oh, the Mad Dog would have loved this game today. Big Ten football from the Dolphins. Peachy keen is what he would have said, right? Riding around with his windows down all night long. What a great mentor and friend Jim Mandich was to me. What a great mentor and friend he was to so many. Watching and listening to the Dolphins games. You're watching with the volume down, listening to the Mad Dog. All right, Miami, with the running game and the defense today. All right, you're watching Locked On Dolphins Postcast. I am whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, then why would I say I am? I'm Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease, at Jim Grease _ on social media. 29-17, they take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. And when you say Miami, you're talking... Never mind. All right, but a win's a win. You know what I'm saying. We're going to wrap it up on the other side. What we're going to do, what we going to do about this time, hit it. No. So what we're going to do, okay, here's what we're going to do. Besides my ADHD ramblings, which is actually a superpower when you're doing this, and who knew? I found the right career path. Otherwise, I would drive everyone crazy my whole life and never accomplish anything, which is sort of what I've done anyway. But my plight aside, my struggle, which is real, I'm going to tell you this. The Dolphins did not struggle with the run game today. The Dolphins did not struggle with the defense today. And Jason Sanders sure as heck didn't struggle today. And we have a lot of candidates for the star of the game. We have a lot of candidates for the turning point. And we got the final score graphic coming your way. We'll take a look at that Cleveland game. Cleveland Browns, are you kidding me? They started off, I mean, they made the playoffs last year too. And you're thinking, all right, but, you know, it's just a little bit of a tough time there for the Cleveland Browns. So the Browns and the Jets back-to-back to win those two. You need the Colts to lose one. You need the Jags to lose one. And you need the Broncos to lose two. But they play the Bengals and the Chiefs. So, hey, you know what I'm saying? And they got a rookie QB in Bo Nix. So nothing is a given for those Broncos of Denver. I'm late for a break. It's Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. Locked On Dolphins Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your everydayers know this. Your team every day in every way. Then we get a chance to tell you, and I feel like we need the NFL Films music. I feel like I need to have the voice of John Facenda on the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. The NFL playoffs are almost here, but it is not too late to get in on the regular season action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Because right now, hey, it's your tomorrow. New customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. FanDuel has so many ways for you to pick up a W, like the Dolphins today. I love betting on which players will score a touchdown and how many points each team will score. It's thrilling. You know what I'm saying? Not only can you bet on who will win the game, but FanDuel also has bets for which players will score a touchdown, how many points each team will score, and so much more. Those are called prop bets for you. You want to be a sharp in those conversations with your boys or the girls. Hey, equal opportunity here, or they, them too. All of them. It doesn't matter. I can educate y'all. CTA offer. You know what that means? Yeah, that's highlighted. I just read it out loud. That's call to action. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your chance at $250 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Oh, baby. Look at that. Miami's got the Dolphins, the greatest football team. They take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. They kick 5 field goals. Jason Sanders. Let's take a look at the stats from this game today for your Miami Dolphins. I'm Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease, by the way. This is your Locked On Dolphins Postcast at Jim Grease _ on social media. Not to be confused with the podcast. This is the Postcast. It's the only place you come after Dolphins games. Day-to-day, Kyle Krabs does a good job with the podcast. After the games, it's the Postcast only. Just like the Heat will be here tomorrow. Can you feel it? Can you see it? Well, they're 13-13. Not a lot of people feeling it right now, but a chance to get back above 500 for the Heat tomorrow night. And we will have that game here for you. And the Postcast right after the game here for you. All right, Miami. In this game today, Tua Tagovailoa, 22 of 34, a touchdown, and no interceptions, no sacks, all right? No INTs, no sacks for Tua. They only scored 2 touchdowns today. Remember, one of them was Tua to Tyreek. The other one put the game away from Devon Achane. That could have been the turning point, but it wasn't because they already had the lead. Tease. All right. Achane, 17 carries, 121 yards, 7.1 yards per carry. That is like more than he's averaged all year long by far. Had the touchdown as well from 50. We don't care. We take it to the house. M-I-A, take it to the house. Exactly what he did. Trick love the kids. I'm sorry. I always got to diss Trick Daddy. Trick love the kids. No, he doesn't. Anyway, Mostert, 8 carries, 31 yards. Now I'm dissing Miami rappers. And while I'm on it, I might as well diss Rick Ross and Luke too. There, I said it. All right. Achane, 6 receptions, 70 yards. Jonnu Smith, 6 for 62. Jonnu Smith, by the way, now the single-season record holder for catches and yards for Dolphin tight ends. Think of all the tight ends Marino threw to. He used a lot of them. I would have thought Keith Jackson, whoa, Nelly. Keith Jackson would have been the guy there, but no, it's Jonnu Smith. How about that, right? Tyreek Hill, 3 for 29, had the touchdown. Malik, 3 for 28 from Malik Washington. Tua had the fumble, didn't lose it. It was a botched snap. Jordan Brooks, another great game for him today. Poyer as well. Walker Jr., Jalen Ramsey, Zach Sealer playing up to it. He's been the key for the defense lately, so great job there. Jason Sanders, I mentioned him, 5 for 5 with a long of 54 on field goals, 2 for 2 on PATs, 17 points he scored today. Wish you had him in fantasy, don't you? And if you did, sweet, sweet fantasy, baby. All right, so there you go. Man, you got Mariah Carey on the show. You got hip-hop. What else do we need here on the show? All right, so team stats, real quick. Take you through the story of the game. First down's about even, 22-20 for Miami. And then you got, let me see. There we go. We got third down efficiency. They started 0 for 8, ended up 4 for 12. That was a big key down the stretch. They ran 3 more plays. They outgained them by 7 yards, 381 to 374. Each team with about 6 yards per play. 215 yards passing for Miami, 293 for San Fran. That, of course, includes yardage lost on sacks. But here is the stat that won the game for your Miami Dolphins. Look, I mean, they're 1 of 3 in the red zone, 2 of 5 for San Francisco. Penalties, 11 for 90 for San Fran, which is huge, 6 for 45 for Miami. Only 1 turnover in the game for San Francisco. It was an interception thrown by Purdy off a tip ball. Yeah, the Dolphins had the ball for 7 more minutes, time of possession. Okay, so no turnovers, huge, right? Any NFL game, first thing you look at, who turned the ball over? No turnovers for Miami. Huge, huge, huge. Only San Francisco turned it over, just 1, and it was on a tip ball. Great job by both teams. Here's the key to the game, and I mentioned time of possession. They had it for about 6 minutes more. Here is why they won this game. As much as you wanted to devalue the running back last year, you being the league as a whole, as much as you wanted to not pay those guys, as much as you wanted to say you can win in the NFL without a run game, you can flare it out to the side, you can run those little short pass patterns like Miami's been doing all year. No, you can't. You have to run the football, and the Dolphins did that beautifully today. 166 yards on 30 attempts, 5.5 per carry. Achane with his best game of the year. I already said that. And man, oh man, that's the recipe right there. Stirring up those pots like world-class chef, man. They all have restaurants in Miami, right? Making it happen. That magic right there. And when you're calling plays like McDaniel was today, you're in that groove. The run game's working. The deep balls, keeping them honest. They hit a couple of those deep posts, mid-range to deep. And that Tua's inability to throw the deep ball it might be the reason why he never wins a Super Bowl, but we'll get back to that at another time. Anyway, so here we go. What do we got there? All right, so now we're going to give you the elements you wait for every single show. I know you're on the edge of your seat, bated breath. You like the Marlins throwback, by the way? This is like the 2003-2004 version when they beat the Yankees in the World Series. Josh Beckett and all that got it from the Marlins when our radio station had the rights for the games. Check this out. You ready? Boom. Right there. And that's the Marlins 10th anniversary. This is the 2003 version of the jersey. All right, here we go. You know what we do about this time. 29-17, they beat the San Francisco 49'ers. Look at this. I have to talk about my man. This was an unbelievable play in this game, and it didn't end up counting, but it was one of the most inspiring things. It got the crowd going. It could have been my turning point of the game. It almost was, but it led to something of the greater good, and we'll get to that in a minute. But good Lord Almighty, was this a play that inspired me? I was jumping up. I mean, my whole house was shaking. My girl's like, what the hell's wrong with you? I'm getting fired. I'm like, that's how you play football. The neighbors are all looking. I live in like a little townhome cluster in a little posh area of town. These people are all like, do you mind? I'm eating my pate. And so anyway, I'm sorry. I'm watching a football game. So here we go. Benito Jones, the 27-year-old, 335-pound defensive tackle from Ole Miss. And that's what they do in the SEC. It was overturned. It was actually called an incomplete pass on the field, but it looked like he had a tip ball, a little interception. His big old mitts got around the ball like this, had it like a little baby, father of three here, you know what I'm saying? Little baby. Nose of the football was on the ground. It wasn't an interception. But on that play, his helmet flies off. On that play, he gets up and he lowers his head into 4 dudes and takes a shot to the head from a helmet on his way down. The crowd goes crazy. The defense is inspired. From that moment on, the Dolphin defense just kicked straight ass from that point because Benito Jones, with his helmet off, got up from where you see him right now on your screen and lowered his shoulder and started trucking dudes with no helmet on, which is exactly what Larry Csonka and Jim Kiick would have done. You see my point? Bang. Miami's got the Dolphins. All right, here's the second one, the turning point of the game. These are the moments I thank God when I'm alive. The Dolphins defense with the fourth quarter stops. Look at Brock Purdy. Didn't know where they were coming from, but they're up 22-17. They got the stop. They got the sacks. Sure, they got helped out by a lot of 49er penalties, but when San Francisco needed to score late in the game, they had the ball 3 times. And when San Francisco needed to score late in the game, when they had the ball 3 times, guess how many times they scored? None. Miami Dolphin defense. Fourth quarter stops, your turning point of the game. And finally, The Rock has come back. Wrong Miami football team. I'm sorry. But still, does that not get you going? All right. Star of the game. And we could, ladies and gentlemen, the star of our show, besides me, Devon Achane. Look at my man right there. Look at Achane. Look at that Achane looking like the A-Train today. My man with a huge game, his best game of the season, the touchdown machine. Achane with another one today to put the game away. His longest run of the season, his longest touchdown run of the season, 50 yards, 17 carries, $120, 7.1 average. The 50-yarder, we don't care. We take it to the house. M-I-A, take it to the house. That's the way we take it to the house. Take it to the house. Take it to the house. And that's the way you end up being the star of the game on your Locked On Dolphins postcast. It was an easy choice. It was going to be Jason Sanders with the 5 field goals until Achane housed it from 50 because, let's be real, kickers aren't football players. It has to go to a real I'm just kidding. Well, not really. Football players, kickers, you need them. You only want your kicker to make it and shut up, and if he ever misses, you'll kill him. If he talks too much, you'll kill him. But just make what you're kicking and that's what he does. 5 for 5 and then 2 for 2 on the PAT. So great job by the defense. Honorable mention there. Also, Chop Robinson with a huge game. Zach Sealer as well, but it was Achane, baby. Tua with a masterful game today as well, but it was Achane. It was Devon Achane with the big game. He threw in also, by the way, 70 yards receiving. So from scrimmage, 190 yards on 23 touches. You think about that. 23 touches, 190 yards, man. That is big-time Pro Bowl, league-leading, all-star, Hall of Fame stuff right there from Achane. And that's a big reason why your Miami's got the Dolphins. Won the game today. Look at that. 29-17. And Benito Jones. I could never get enough of that, man. When he was running, lowering that shoulder, boom, like, you just need John Madden going boom and boom and boom and boom. Remember John Madden? We love John Madden. More famous for the video game than anything else. But those of us in the know, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I know. You guys, I'm a little much. Just try being my lady or my kids or anybody at 52 years old with all this energy. The gray hairs don't matter. It is what it is. But when you get wins like today, when the defense steps up and you get so fired up, and the run game, you just hit them in the mouth, and you just, you achieve all your objectives through pure will, determination, desire, physicality, taking it from another man as opposed to letting him take it from you. That's what the Dolphins did today with the run game. That's what the Dolphins did today with the defense. And that's what we do with you every week on this show, if you're one of the ones who's smart enough to watch. Locked On Dolphins postcast. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Day to day, you got Kyle Krabs with Locked On Dolphins podcast after the games. Locked On Dolphins postcast. We got the Hurricanes on December 28th playing in the IDGAF Bowl. Figure that one out. And no one cares, but it's okay. The Miami Hurricanes missed out on the playoffs. I'm still bitter. Doesn't matter. Dolphins still alive. They have a shot. Broncos lose 2. Colts lose 1. Jags lose 1. Dolphins win out against Cleveland and the Jets. You got me? You reading me? Romo said it 7,000 times. Just rewind and go back and watch the game. You'll get it, okay? But the Dolphins still have a shot, and I guarantee you this, as much as I can guarantee you anything, and that's probably not a lot, but I will say, that nobody, and the rock means nobody. All right, I'm done. Wants to play the Miami Dolphins in the playoffs. Nobody wants to see them in the playoffs. Did I just say us? Them. They're making me feel like I'm part of the team. Isn't it unbelievable what they're doing? Let's throw this up one last time. 29-17. Miami Dolphins get the win today over the San Francisco 49ers. And with that, Miami, I tell you what. Shout out to the Mad Dog, Jim Mandich. All right, Miami. That's all there is, Dolphin fans. There is no more. 29-17, the Dolphins win 7-8. Ha, 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 ha. Staying alive, still alive in the playoff race. And next week, you got the Browns. After that, you got the Jets. We'll be here after the game. Browns game next week, live with the postcast. We'll be here tomorrow after the Heat game with the postcast. We'll be there Saturday as well when the Canes play in the IDGAF Bowl, IDGAF. Yeah, there you have it, too. We'll be there after that game as well. Great. That's an awesome tease, right? No one cares about the game. Watch us live afterwards. Bitterness is a wonderful thing, isn't it? Not so much. Anyway, where am I? Let me catch my breath. We will be back next Sunday with the Dolphins and the Browns on your Locked On Dolphins postcast. Go crazy, Miami. 29-17, the win. Still alive. Needed some good news on the local sports scene, didn't we? And maybe the Heat will give us more tomorrow night. 29-17, Dolphins. Keep your game tight and your mind right, Miami. And thank you for watching your Locked On Dolphins postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every single day.